Hello, hello, everybody. Hi there, Sandy. How are you doing? See who else we have here today. Gonna wait a second here, see who joins us. Hello, Maria. How are you doing? Good to see you. Give folks a moment to join us. Just going to be doing a short live stream tonight to show you all how the garden's been doing, since I know I haven't had a chance to do that for a little bit. Let's see here. I'm not even sure to start. But we'll wait a minute, since we only have a couple of people in here right now. Give folks a chance to join. So Maria, Sandy, how are your gardens doing? While we're waiting for folks, check this out. The Java de Coba decided it was time to start producing fruit again. And we have a set of fruit and some baby fruit just coming out again. You can see right there. Oop, if it wants to focus, there we go. Crazy thing. This has produced now 3 times this year. The Java de Coba normally only produces once per year, but I'm thinking it's confused. Take a look at the plumeria too. The plumeria is looking really nice. Check it out. This thing is really tall. Look at that. I'm guessing that's about 9-10 feet tall now. Now, I want to show you all what's going on down here too. Last time you all saw this space was empty. We actually have planted sweet potatoes down here now. So these are 3 different sweet potatoes. I've got a purple sweet potato and a standard orange sweet potato growing down here. I actually had 2 and 2, but the one right there died, and I didn't label any of these. So I have absolutely no idea which varieties are which. Make sure you actually label stuff when you plant things. That way you know what to replace if something dies. I actually have replacements for those sweet potatoes, but I don't know which one to plant. And actually, funny thing, even with my replacements, I don't know which is which because I didn't label these either. All I know is that 2 of them are one type and 2 of them are the other. Looks like this dried out a bit today. I'm going to have to give this a little soak. These sweet potatoes are ready to go in the ground. We have some more sweet potatoes right down here, actually. I've been putting sweet potatoes all over the place. In fact, I'm planning on planting some of these sweet potatoes underneath the fruit trees in a couple of different spots, just for the heck of it. Sandy says, my gardener cleaned up my front yard Friday. He also adjusted my sprinkler system. Well, that's good. And hello, Diane. Good to see you. Now, this is exciting right here. This might not be very exciting for all of you, but this is very, very exciting for me. These little plants in here are my expensive root cuttings for the Bocking 14 comfrey that I purchased. Fortunately, one of these had a leaf that died. Well, didn't quite make it. That's okay. These are pretty hardy root cuttings, but I was a little bit scared just because of how expensive they were. Gonna let these grow in just a little bit more. Once I can see some good roots in this root ball, I'm gonna go ahead and plant them out into the yard. This Bocking 14 comfrey is gonna grow to be probably about, I'd say at least 3 feet tall. It's used for chop and drop. It's actually a really good biodynamic accumulator. Going to have that planted right out here in and amongst the fruit trees. Matter of fact, you can see the plum tree has more than doubled in size already. It's getting quite large here. Even the peach tree is growing out finally. We only had that one bud that came out Unfortunately, nothing else is coming out on here, so I'm a little bit concerned. This bud is above the graft, but I'm still concerned about that being the only bud that came out, so I'm really hoping that one of these other buds come out. The persimmon is looking a little bit sad, hasn't grown too much, took on a good amount of damage early on in the season, and it hasn't grown too much since. A couple of new leaves, but it hasn't done a whole lot quite yet. Now I want to show you all some new stuff you haven't seen since the last time you've checked out the space. This in here was supposed to be buckwheat and cowpeas, but none of the buckwheat has come up yet, and I'm wondering if the seeds actually, oh, you know what, maybe I do have some buckwheat coming up down here. I can't tell if that's buckwheat or grass coming up down there. It's probably crabgrass. But at least the cowpeas came up. Cowpeas are doing really good in here. Very excited, can't wait. I've got black-eyed peas and a variety I've never tried before in here. So this is just going to be a little field of peas. This space, I just wanted to plant something in here because I wasn't using the space. And this area right in here is where the new fruit trees are going to go. Since fruit trees aren't going to be ready until the fall, decided to try something a little bit different. And so I planted these in here. These are known as, now I'm going to forget the name. It's gambul, ganjul. It's actually kind of similar to the cowpeas. Oh, sorry, gondul. There we go. It's a gondul. These little pea plants are also known as pigeon peas, but these, I'm told, are going to get 6 to 8 feet tall. So they're actually going to be the size of a tree. This is actually going to turn into sort of a woody shrub-like plant, but I'm not planning on leaving these in here. Now, this little woody shrub plant is actually a nitrogen fixer, so we're going to let that fix some nitrogen and help build up the soil in this area so that in the fall we can plant our other set of 3 trees. Let's see what else is going on in here. Now, I guess I could show you all the herb spiral here. Unfortunately, the nasturtium is done for the season. All of the nasturtiums have completely kicked the bucket. This is all going to get either chopped and dropped, just like that, or going to go into the compost pile over there in the corner of the yard. Of course, you can see that our lovely little borage is doing great. Decided to leave this in here. I'm going to start cutting some of these leaves back to throw in the compost, and I'll probably harvest these flowers pretty soon here. In fact, some of these look like they've gone a little bit too far. I'm not going to be able to harvest some of these. These flowers are really, really tasty. They're actually extremely sweet and taste like a combination of cucumbers and honey. Very, very tasty little flowers. If you're ever at the nursery and you see borage or borage, I recommend planting the seeds because they're very easy to grow and honestly really cheap when you just buy the seeds. All the other herbs are doing great in here. Everything is really happy. A couple of the plants died back. You can see the cilantro completely kicked the bucket, went to seed, and we've been sprinkling the seeds all over the place. So hopefully more cilantro will come up in here. The flowers here are little pot marigolds. Didn't do a whole lot. These came up, and I actually think that there's something funky going on in this last little bit of the herb spiral. I'm planning on taking all of this out and maybe checking out the soil, see what's going on. All of the other areas are doing just fine. Although I am surprised that the sage hasn't grown up very much. It's very, very short, and I was expecting it to, well, grow at least 2 feet tall. Instead, it's just spreading out. Not sure what's going on with that, but we'll keep an eye on it. Now, the peppers have been going absolutely crazy. Lots of peppers on these 2 little plants in here. In fact, this plant isn't very big, but you can see it's got an obscene number of peppers, just waiting for them to ripen up. There was only one pepper that ripened so far, and it was really tasty. Of course, these jalapenos are going too far. Should have harvested these, although we have harvested over a dozen jalapenos off of this jalapeno, and they were very tasty. Now, let's see here. You know, funny thing, these citrus just bloom whenever they feel like it, and you can see that our little kumquats in here have started blooming again. Actually, as well as the lime tree is also in bloom right now. The lemon tree is always in bloom. This lemon has flowers in bloom, buds just opening, green lemons, yellow lemons. I kid you not when I say that this lemon tree produces lemons 5 or 6 times a year. I mean, it is just constantly going through cycles of blooming and producing lemons. It's a really crazy thing. Now, let's go ahead and move on over to the raised bed. I'll show you what's been going on in this. It's looking pretty good. These poor 2 tomato plants on the end, I actually had to cut a lot out of these. The one down on that end had early blight, and these 2 down here started getting late blight. And as a matter of fact, there's still some issue in here. Actually, this looks like it might be some insect damage here. But these 2 tomatoes down on the end had a rough start and haven't been looking the healthiest. Of course, they're absolutely covered in tomatoes. Tons and tons of black stars just about ready to harvest here. Clusters that are green as well. We've only harvested 1 purple Cherokee so far. It was very tasty though. It was really great. Oh, Sandy, your tree's in bloom too, huh? Now, of course, we also have our worm bin down here. Let's take a look and see what's going on with these guys. Now, ever since I got the new population of worms in here, they've been a lot happier. Oh yeah, you can see not only worms in there, but some pincher bugs as well. Now, some people might not like the pincher bugs in there. Actually, there's a couple of roly-polies too. You can see them right there. These are all detritivores. And, oh, that smells like alcohol. This is some apples that were chopped up that, oh boy, yeah, that smells very strongly of alcohol. I think I've been fermenting in here on accident. Oops. I need to add some greens in there. Now, the worms have been very happy ever since we added the new worms back into the bins. They've been going strong. The 2 tomatoes down on this end have just been absolutely going wild. The Juliet, I mean, you can see just the clusters and clusters of tomatoes all over this crazy thing. Some ready to pick. We just harvested a couple dozen Juliets off of this. There's a bunch that we can't even reach in there. Unfortunately, I did not stay on top of pruning and tying this properly. And in fact, many of my ties in here aren't doing anything because the branches got too heavy and the ties broke. So I really have a lot of work to do in here right now. Tons of sun golds as well. In fact, we just came through and harvested probably about 3 dozen of these. And there's still tons to harvest and even more green just getting ready to be picked in here. These 2 tomatoes on this end have been absolutely prolific. I mean, we're probably harvesting at least a half dozen tomatoes every day. And then when we actually go through a day where we really harvest tomatoes off, we're picking several dozen at a time, at least once or twice a week. You can see all of the Juliets in here. And by the way, the Juliet is a really great, oops. Well, that one was ready. And now I'll never get to it because Well, maybe, oh, I see it. There we go. Oh, ta-da. Y'all just pretend like you didn't see that. That'll just rest there for a second. Now, the carrots have been fantastic too. Actually, we've been getting carrots out of here. The carrots still have not bolted. You can see the carrots under here. The tops of the carrots haven't been very large. And so I thought, because the tops weren't very large, that the carrots weren't going to be very big either. But we've been pulling some pretty good-sized carrots out of here. And the shallots as well have actually been fantastic. Let me show you a couple of the bunches here. Now, I haven't pulled any off of this end down here. Here's one bunch of shallots. This one's pretty small. These ones over here are pretty dainty as well. The shallots down on the other end of the bed have been a lot larger. It's funny that the carrots and shallots have done better down there. The tomatoes aren't doing as well. Down here, the tomatoes are doing great, and the carrots and shallots haven't been doing a whole lot. So, interesting to see how the bed behaves. Now, that worm bin down there, I can't even get to right now. I actually have to come in and have someone help me lift all of this up to get in there and feed the worms, so I haven't been inside that worm bin very much. But it's been doing well. The worms are happy in there. Man, I tell you, these tomatoes have been so fantastic. These sun golds are the sweetest sun golds I have ever had in my life. The skin is ridiculously thin, and they are so sweet. In fact, this morning I made myself a really tasty breakfast with one of these shallots down here, a couple of sun gold tomatoes, a couple of eggs, and some sourdough toast. Actually, with some jam that was made by one of my students, Karen Zuck. It's a really good apricot jam that she makes every year. Man, it was tasty. I have pictures. I'll post pictures later. How about that? Now, want to show you the chayote. The chayote that we planted survived, and it's still not very big, but you can see that it's about 6 to 8 inches tall now. It's been coming up slowly. Other chayote didn't make it. The other chayote we had planted over here, this one actually sprouted, it came up, and then it died. And so the second chayote didn't make it. But at least we got one that took. We also have some more cowpeas in here. This is actually a type of a cowpea known as a red runner. These vines are supposed to get 8 to 9 feet long. I've never tried these before, but I'm going to train them up onto the trellis alongside our chayote here. Not expecting to get any chayote this year, so I figured we could get some cowpeas while the chayote is growing in. And let's take a look over here at how the north side flower bed has been doing. You can see that the lemon verbena is now almost as tall as I am. It's really growing into the pathway, and I need to cut this back. Alyssum is doing great in here. All of the flowers are really doing good, although I've noticed, as you can see down here, I need to deadhead these, and it looks like they are getting some kind of a pest or disease. Looks more like a pest to me. There's some kind of a critter in there eating those. Now, this side of the yard, this space in here is shaded by the oak trees up here. And so the nasturtiums are actually still surviving in here. The nasturtiums are doing great. You can see a lot of the flowers in here are actually still doing pretty great, although this nasturtium is a little bit further out into the sun, not doing quite as hot. Something going on in here. In fact, this isn't looking so hot either. Wonder what we have. Almost looks like some kind of a fungal issue. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to take a closer look at these and figure out what's going on. The lemongrass is doing great. Lemongrass has been doing fantastic. The stevia has gotten gigantic, looking really good. And the hollyhocks are doing great as well. I don't know if if I had pointed these out right after I planted them or not. I've got 5 hollyhock plants planted around here, and these are going to be gorgeous. I can't wait for these to grow out. Of course, we do have some insects in here. You can see that we have a leaf miner in here. Don't actually see the leaf miner. You can actually see these things when they're actually there. In fact, is that one right there? No, it's not. But yeah, you can see when these leaf miners are actually actively eating. It's a little tiny caterpillar that gets on these leaves. Don't actually physically see them in here right now. Now, of course, we are seeing different kinds of critters in here, different kinds of damage. I'm not worried about it. I'm leaving all of it alone, and I'm allowing this to be a buffet. As the pests come in, we use them to attract the predators. And case in point, we had all of these aphids in here that I had shown you some time ago. Now we have a whole bunch of dead aphids in here. If you take a close look, and it's hard to tell without the macro lens, but these are dead aphids. They are all desiccated. So there was actually a hoverfly larva that got in here, maybe more than one hoverfly larva. It actually pupated on here, but it went through, it ate all of the aphids, or they ate all of the aphids, and now it's just a graveyard. There's still dead aphid bodies all over the place, but I have not found a single living aphid on this plant. So we'll do the same thing with all of these as well. We'll allow the pests to build up, the predators will come in, and then we'll have a predator population to help take care of all of these plants. Whew. And of course, the raised bed has had some fungal issues, but it hasn't seemed to get too many pest issues. Now, I did find a couple of army worms on one of these tomatoes, but I just plucked those off by hand. Army worms are actually little tiny caterpillar. They're very small, and it actually is a moth. But yeah, those aren't too problematic. I will point out that we have about 1/4 of a tomato down here. As you can see, some kind of a creature has come in and has been hollowing out that tomato right there. Now, a lot of times when people see that, when they see a tomato that has a bunch of bite marks in it, they'll take it out and they'll throw it away. If I take that out, whatever is eating that is going to start munching on the other tomatoes. As it stands right now, that is the only tomato that has any bite marks on it. It started off with just a couple of small bites, and each night a little bit more of that disappears. I don't know what's eating it, but as long as I leave it there, the creature is going to keep returning to the same tomato. So I'm not going to take that out of there. I'm going to let that creature finish it. It's probably going to end up starting one of these other tomatoes. These ones, unfortunately, are very low to the ground because of the bad branching structure on this tomato plant. But that's okay. Once it starts eating another tomato, I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to let it do its thing because, well, I don't mind losing one tomato. All right, let's see here. Walk around the corner. Just have a couple more things to show you all. A couple of fun things. Guess I'll turn this back around. Here you can see this is known as longevity spinach. This is a green that you can eat. It is said that if you eat one of these leaves every morning, that will help you to live longer. You can also cook this up. It tastes a little bit like celery, but like a very, very mild celery. It's actually in bloom right now, and the flowers are quite nice. This plant is not in the right place, and I'm actually planning, I was planning on transplanting it. But what I'm doing right now is I'm actually taking cuttings. I'm going to take those cuttings, root them, and I'm going to plant this in some other places around the yard where I actually want it. Once those cuttings have taken off, I'm going to try to transplant this original plant, but we'll see. I don't know how well it's going to transplant, but at least I'll already have cuttings going by then. Now, the goji berry is not doing half bad. In fact, the goji berry has flowered. You can see the flowers here on the goji berry, and you can see the little goji berries. Let's see if I can find a cluster for you here. There we go. There's our little green goji berries just getting started. So this goji berry had been chopped all the way down to pretty much nothing just a few months ago, and so this is all completely new growth. Trying to train it back onto the arch here. In fact, I'm going to be cutting a lot of that out back there because I don't really want it to grow against the fence. I want to train it over onto the arch. But it's been growing so fast, I have not been able to keep up with it. Now, of course, we have our compost pile over here. Ah, isn't that exciting? Compost. This is what you're here for, right? No? Okay. Now, the poor little sad passion fruit came back. It really started putting out some new branches. You can see there's a new branch here that's grown up, finally getting up onto the this thing, the trellis. There we go. And I'm glad I didn't give up on this, because when it died back, I really thought I was just going to take it out and have it replaced, but it came back from the roots and it's doing just fine. So this is going to be a little bit slow going, but eventually it's going to cover this, and in fact, it's going to end up covering the whole fence over here. Took a couple of the potted plants from the side of the garage over here and laid them out for our little sitting area. Of course, got a hammock in here right now. That was actually for some filming I was doing. You can ignore that. The chocolate plants are actually doing very, very well. So this is the chocolate vine. This is not actually chocolate. It's just known as the chocolate vine. This is a fruit from Japan known as a kebia. It's grown quite long here. You can see how far out it has grown in this direction. Unfortunately, the stem growing out on this side, you can see there's only a couple of leaves left on it. This actually got a really bad case of powdery mildew on it, and it ended up dropping all of its leaves. Now, it has since been treated, and it seems to be doing better, but I'm really going to have to keep an eye on this plant because it seems, just like the goji berry over there, both of these seem to be prone to powdery mildew. I'm going to have to really stay on top of that in this area. Of course, we have our blueberries in here. I need to feed these blueberries because they have not been putting on new growth. Now, this blueberry has just been kind of sitting here, while this one over here keeps putting out blueberries. It's been just putting out set after set after set of blueberries. There's one little blueberry there and a bunch of flowers on here. This has not grown at all. It has not gotten any bigger, but it's probably put on 3 or 4 sets of blueberries since I planted it. Just keeps wanting to produce. Gonna have to give both of these a little bit of some nitrogen fertilizer, I'm thinking, to get them to bush out. I really want them to put on that green leafy growth. These have been in here for several months now, and honestly, they should be getting bigger than they are. Now, one of the last things I'm going to show you here are the grapes, and we had decided to leave the grapes on for my dad, and boy howdy, let me tell you, these grapes have been delicious. Oh, I think something found that one. Yeah, some kind of a critter is getting in here and chomping on a couple of these. The only bad thing about these clusters of grapes is we've noticed that they ripen very unevenly, and so we have not been harvesting the clusters. We've just been picking the grapes as they ripen individually. Of course, I still have not set up the wire for this poor grape, and I really need to get to that, but as you can guess, I've been a little bit busy. All right, now let's see here. I think that's pretty much everything that I had planned on showing you all tonight going on here in the yard. I know it was a little bit of a short tour. I'm trying to remember if I'm forgetting anything here. I don't think so, though. I think pretty much everything. I guess some of you might not have seen this at the beginning, so maybe I'll show one more time. We have our lovely plumeria in bloom here. This is the oldest plumeria my dad has, about 10 feet tall now. We also have, of course, our sweet potatoes that we just planted up down here about a month ago or so. And for those of you who didn't see at the very, very beginning, the Java Dacoba has decided that it's going to fruit again. And in fact, it put a whole new set of fruit on and little tiny babies as well. So it's really going nuts. Let's see here. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask away. Let's see. So Epic Gardening has a video that says that regular watering the leaves of plants in the morning so they dry out supposedly washes away the powdery mildew, spores, and fungus. So I'm not sure about that. You know, one of the issues with powdery mildew is that when you wet the leaves, it creates a place or it makes it easier for the powdery mildew to get onto the plant. Now, typically we say to keep the water off in the evening. So I don't know, maybe morning watering does help. I would have to check. I will say what I've been using and what's been working really well is that product, Serenade. Serenade is a biofungicide that uses a bacteria, and that has been working fantastic on everything that's been getting powdery mildew. Thank you very much, Diane. I appreciate it. Oh, and thank you very much. Another comment. Thanks for showing us your garden and compost pile. It helps a lot. It gives me hope. Thank you very much. I'll keep sharing this space. It's been going slow, but it's coming in a little bit at a time. I have not had as much time to work in here as I would like. And of course, the next 4 weeks are going to be super busy, so I'm not going to have a lot of time out here, but it's going to be really exciting to see as these 3 trees grow in, and then of course in the fall, once we get this other set of trees in here, how this space starts to evolve. Matter of fact, some of these plants in here, like the Bocking 14 comfrey plants, these are actually intended to help out the orchard. And so these plants are going to be planted around here, actually, kind of along the edge, along with the wood, around the trees. They're going to grow up to be roughly 3 feet tall or so. And what we're going to do is every time they grow up, we're going to chop them down and we're going to scatter the leaves around the fruit trees. And that's going to act as a green mulch and help to take care of our little growing fruit orchard. Of course, all of this is going to take time. These trees aren't going to be coming in until the fall. And really, we're not going to see these trees reaching full size for, I'd say at least, well, depending on how lucky we are, maybe 2 to 5 years, just depending on how fast they decide to grow. All right, everybody. Now, that's all I had planned. Did anybody have any questions they wanted to ask before I head out? And feel free to ask any questions you have in the chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Happy Sunday to you all, too. Woohoo! I guess you can see behind me. Look at that. All right, well, if there's no questions, then that's it for me. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next time. Thank you too, Sandy. Take care. Stay safe, everybody. Oh, thank you very much, Maria. It's good to see you too. Take care. We'll see you next time.